You know, I'm pretty sure that God just doesn't want us to be YouTube stars. I mean, I think what it is Tommy's so good looking that women are going to flock to him if anyone ever watches our videos, because since we've been doing this, we've had more wind and more rain than Arizona has had in 10 years. It's insane. You hear our metal roof flipping around, and it's just getting beat to death here. All right, you caught me playing hooky from work. I have a dentist appointment this morning. We are going to be taking care of the installation of the fuel tank. We're going to do some more hard lines. We're going to be messing with the dash so that we get our oil pressure gauge working and we get our water temperature gauge working so we can fire this girl up and break in our cam. Hang on for the ride. All right, here's our brand new tank, and this tank is very specific for this application. If you'll notice, we have a parallel line here and we have a non-parallel line there. That goes at an angle, and that's because from the factory, this cross member in the truck runs at an angle, and they do that to try and give torsional strength so that it doesn't turn into a diamond. And so this tank is built specifically to go up underneath there. It'll go in with straps, it can go in with bolts. This is where it's going to bolt down on the bottom side. This tank is very specific so that it fits exactly in that location, and it makes it very easy for us to do a rear tank instead of an inside tank. From the factory, this was the hole that it entered in, and the tank was behind the seat. Now, lots of people are afraid of that. I think if you're in a wreck hard enough that that's a problem, you're probably dead anyway. But people are afraid of it, so they go with the rear tank, and that's what we're doing for Brandon. All right, we have the tank set under there initially. We're going to put it up on a floor jack with a piece of wood on it so it doesn't scar it all up. We're going to get it jacked up into position. We're going to mark our holes, and we'll pull it back out, drill our holes, and rock and roll. You know, Tommy, it looks like there might be holes already in existence for it.
That would be cool.
That would be movie cool, wouldn't it? All right, you ready? Is that about right? All right, slide it more towards the front. We got both of them over here. You got it perfect right there. Yeah. It will bolt in just like that. We got so darn lucky.
Wow.
I don't know if they're factory holes or what the deal is, but we don't have to drill anything. We're going to put some bolts in, and our fuel tank is ready. That was the single fastest fuel tank installation in the entire universe.
If you don't have a vented provision in the gas cap, we've actually found some pretty neat techniques to do that. You run a PCV valve. If you have that PCV valve aimed down, you won't have any fuel vapor, you won't have any of that. It's actually a really ingenious way to get past that problem.
Yep. It vents when it needs to vent and doesn't fume anything out. So that's what we're going to do on this one right here. A little bit of hose, PCV valve, bingo, bango, we're done with the tango. Perfect. This thing is working out perfect. 4 bolts, and we will start putting stuff in. Actually, this right here, what is that, Tommy?
This is the sending unit. This is where the feed line coming out of the tank. This is obviously for your gauge, stuff like there. This float here, there's a rheostat here that tells you it differentiates ohm resistance, and that's what makes your gauge work. This is a sock, obviously for debris, so you don't have debris getting your fuel system. But the cool thing about this tank that he got, you can tap into there for a return line if in fact he ever wanted to do injection.
You can do an exterior high volume pump,
right?
And you can run off the same system right here.
Yeah.
Which is usually the pump we use. They do sell some tanks that you have a pump that goes in the tank, and although that's good, it also sucks when your fuel pump goes out because you have to drop the tank to replace anything. And it's always right after you top the tank off, so you got 20 gallons in there at 8 pounds a gallon, so you have 160 pounds trying to flip over and dump on top of you. No fun. So we like the external pumps that we bolt to the frame, and then we run a fuel filter before the pump and a fuel filter after the pump, so that we can stop any cacahuate from getting through into our fuel system. All right, this was going so easy, it couldn't go as easy as that. So when we got the box, it was obvious that it had been opened before and that it had been, taped back together. That's never a good indication. Now maybe they just decided not to use it and changed their mind. Who knows? But I'll tell you what, right now we just discovered that we do not have the lock ring that goes right there to hold down our sitting unit. Which means, yeah, I'm going to give the guy a call. He's going to replace it, I'm sure, but it stops everything from happening. It causes me to have to drive an hour across town, pick the thing up, an hour back. It just becomes a big old pain in the rear end ski. So usually when you get a part that's already been opened, there's a problem with it. But I didn't realize it when I bought the part from him, or I would have opened it up right then and checked. But you know what? We'll get it fixed anyway. Not that big a deal.
We'll just tape it on, or it'll be great.
Yeah, a little bit of duct tape and silicone.
Drywall screws.
A little baling wire.
Right.
We'll be all right. Brandon will never know. Shh, don't tell him.
All right.
All right, well, we'll get it bolted up anyway.
Yeah, off to a good start. We'll go ahead and use that as a ground terminal. That looks pretty good there. And this guy right here is our sending unit. This is for the gauge here.
We are so lucky that we live in an era when you can't buy any parts. So I go to Home Depot. I buy me some 3/8, 16, 1 inch long. I buy some 1.5 inch long whole box because we use them all the time. I go to buy a whole box of nuts, and guess what? There's not one in the entire store. Well, I bought 4 lock nuts instead of lock washers. It'll be all right, but absolutely insane. So you see Tommy's taking care of this. I'm going to do something that's going to be super fun. I've been so excited to do this. I'll be working away from Tommy for a little while. I'm going to do something that needs to be done, and we keep getting comments about it. All right, 2 things you need to understand. Tommy is the 4th least organized person in the universe. Number 4. There was actually a poll. He's number 4. I'm number 3. Between the 2 of us, that adds up to number 7. So I think we're doing better. So I am doing this today, and it is not going to be enjoyable, but it needs to be done. We keep getting comments about, why are you guys working on the concrete? Why are you working on the floor? Why don't you have a table? We do have tables. We have 2 tables, and we have provisions for more. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Here is one of our workbenches that you can't even see the bench. Yeah, it is 3/4 inch thick steel. This was from a buddy of mine's old shop. It is beat up and ugly and grotesque and nasty, and it's strong as mare's breath. And it needs to be cleaned off so that we can work on it. But worse than that, check out this. So when Tommy and I decided to be crazy and start doing a YouTube channel, I told him, hey, 2 hours a day for the first 2 months, we're gonna clean this place up and make it functional. And we had this workbench right here that you're looking at, almost clean, that we could use it. As you can tell, with the Tommy piles down on the ground of tools, with the Pete piles up top of just all kinds of crap that we haven't put away.
It's all good stuff, though.
It's all good stuff. But man, we got to do something. So today I'm going to clean this up. So this is your before picture, and here in a few minutes you're going to see the after picture. So Tommy's going to be messing with the fuel tank. I'm going to be messing with some organization and some cleaning up, and we got to get this thing working like it should, because we love what we're doing, but we hate to wade through piles of garbage looking for tools, and that's frustrating. So we're going to try and convert ourselves to a better life.
And then we can't find anything. You watch. No.
We'll put the tools up, and we will not be able to find anything. But at least we'll know where they're not.
That's true.
They're not going to be on that bench.
True.
We'll get it covered.
All right, guys. So our power steering came in. Yay! Our power steering line came in. Here's our power steering pressure line coming out, and it proceeds down here. And it's actually shaped pretty good. Now remember, we have to relieve the wheelhouse. But man, it fits really pretty good. Woo!
I came from the mud. There's dirt on my hands. Strong like a tree.
All right, we have our cutout for the power steering lines marked out. We're going to drill holes in the corner so we don't have a sharp corner which tends to crack. We'll drill a hole in the corner, then we'll do with our cutoff wheel, we'll round some stuff off and make it look pretty.
Hope they won't shoot me down soon. They sing gonna sleep Try to catch me howling at the moon.
All right, so we are getting the entire inner fender and core support hung on it so we can put on a radiator. Start getting ready to start this girl. We want to have the radiator hung properly so we don't have any issues there. We'll run an electric fan. Keep it girl while we do a cam break-in. All right, it's always awesome when you go to fit something that's specifically built for your truck and it doesn't fit.
Good thing we don't know how to build here.
It's easy. All it is time and money. Well, get a tape measure down there. Let's get some ideas of where we want it to sit. Yeah, but I mean, give me a length all the way up here. What do we got? On there, 17. So if we do 16, we'll be able to get it in there, no problem at all. So we're going to do 16 inches. So we're going to do 2 of them Z's. And it looks to me like if we just do an inch on each side. Let me see this right here. Nope, that needs to be 3/4 of an inch. And that needs to be, an inch there, 4 inches there. So we go 1 inch, 2 inch, 3/4 of an inch, 2 of them 16 inches long. Drill our holes and bolt it in. We'll fix it for them. Alrighty, we'll get some Z metal built. We'll punch some holes and get this radiator installed. Then tomorrow we can look for some radiator hoses. We'll get some things capped off and we'll be really close to being ready. All right, so I took this piece of sheet metal. It's a 12 gauge. And on the metal brake, I broke my Z. Now I need to cut along there so that we have the piece for this. We're gonna drill holes. We're gonna cut this in half and then both sides will match each other. So, yeehaw.
To the very end. Many men try to reach it. Many men have failed. Well, if you wanna get to heaven, you gotta raise a little hell. And I've been running from the law. Hope they won't shoot me down soon.
Can you see in the background that the pile is getting smaller? I'm working on it. Hey, we are getting ready to lay the radiator in here and mark our brackets for it. So we built those Z-shaped brackets on the metal brake, and we're going to get our holes lined out so we can pop some holes, get some stuff painted. We'll be able to lay this in here. We'll get it ready to break in the cam. All right, so we have our Z bracket, and we've marked our holes for mounting it to the core support. We've marked them on both. We're going to drill these out. We're going to bolt those in. We'll bolt it in that way on this side and that way on the other. And we'll bolt it in. Then we'll be able to put our radiator up, position it where we want, make our marks, pull it all back off, drill it again, and we will be golden. Look at how lucky we are. The magic hole fairy came along and punched holes for us. Woohoo! Hey, we're going to bolt it up, get our other measurements. We'll get some holes punched on this side, and we'll get this baby mounted. All right, so we have these installed temporarily. We're going to put the radiator in. We're going to scribe our holes, pull the radiator out, these guys out, drill our holes, clean them up, paint them, and we'll be able to locate the radiator exactly like we want. So check it out. We have our holes marked. Oh. 1 hole, 2 hole, It always hurts so bad when we decide to film something because we turn the fan off and it's still way hot here. Anyway, all right, we have our holes in there. We're gonna bolt it in, just verify everything's right, and then we'll go ahead and take it back out. We'll get our things deburred and we'll get some paint on this girl so that she looks pretty. We had shimmed the radiator up so that it was in the position we want where it didn't rub on the frame. Just forgot to take them out. All right, let's check our other holes. They line up perfectly. Wow, it worked. All right, we'll show you what's happening. All right, you see that we have just temporary bolts in there. But that nice little standoff gives us everything that we need. We built a similar one for Ben's truck, but it had to be a lot more aggressive than this. Anyway, everything lines up like it's supposed to. We'll get her pulled apart and painted.
Hope you find me. When the sunrise, when the sun.
Well, we may not have been able to break in the cam on Brandon's truck, but I got our stupid workbench cleaned off. But we're going to start using this instead of using the ground. So that we can get Tommy on the road, we want to thank you guys for coming and watching. We'd appreciate it if you guys would subscribe, share our link, send it out on Facebook and Instagram and wherever else you can think of. We got stuff going all over the place here. You know, I'm pretty sure that God just doesn't want us to be YouTube stars. I mean, I think what it is Tommy's so good looking. That women are going to flock to him if anyone ever watches our videos, because since we've been doing this, we've had more wind and more rain than Arizona has had in 10 years. It's insane. You hear our metal roof flipping around, and it's just getting beat to death here.
We're like an hour away from firing it.
Yeah.
Actually, not even that.
Hour away. Anyway, ridiculous. So we're going to try and do that Wednesday, I think. You going to be able to make it back Wednesday? Tommy is going to school now. He's going to be a Doctor of Love or something, I don't know. So he's got some classes. We got to juggle our schedules around, and so Wednesday, we are going to fire this Wednesday. So you will not see it on Wednesday's video. You will see it on next Sunday's video. But we are really close. The thing's looking great. We'll probably do a test fire before then. But as far as the cam braking is concerned, we have to have a good 15 minutes, and everything has to be set up just right so that we don't mess something up.
It can't be raining.
Can't be raining. Can't be blowing. Yeah, I can't be doing that stuff. But we are not working in a protected environment. I don't know if you can tell what's out there or not, but it does not look pretty. It is brown and ugly and rain and dust, and the wind is going like crazy. You see the water that we got last night. We got an inch of rain in about 4 hours here at my house. You can hear the wind, I'm sure. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna give you guys a goodbye. We're gonna get Tommy out of here so he doesn't die on the freeway somewhere. And we will break the cam in this next week. Hey, I appreciate you guys coming by and seeing what we're doing on these cars. And as always, thanks for watching.